There are 5 diesel pickups sitting on used lots across America right now that dealers literally cannot move, and every diesel tech I know is quietly calling dibs on them for their own driveway. These aren't rust buckets, these aren't good for the money compromises, these aren't project trucks for guys with lifts and welders sitting in their garage. I am talking about diesels that will cross 500,000 miles with nothing but oil changes, fuel filters, and the occasional set of ball joints, selling for thousands less than they should because of one stupid reason: nobody knows what they are looking at anymore. After 25 years wrenching on diesels, I have watched people drop $75,000 on brand new trucks with 60,000-mile powertrain warranties, while these 5 just sit there waiting for someone smart enough to notice. I have personally put more than 40 customers into these trucks. Not one has come back with a blown engine. Not one. Today, I am counting down the 5 most underrated diesel pickups on the used market right now. The ones that will outlast anything rolling off a dealer lot today. I am going deepest on number 1 because that is the truck that will change how you shop for a diesel forever. Let's get into it. Number 5. Ram 2500 Cummins 5 liters, 2003 to 2007. Number 5 is the diesel guys fight over at auctions and regular buyers walk right past because it looks like an old truck. You can grab a clean one right now for under $18,000. Let me tell you about a customer I had last spring. Guy in his late 30s, works construction, needed something to pull a 14,000-pound dump trailer on weekends for a side business. He walked into my shop with a window sticker from a local dealer for a 2020 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 Cummins, 88,000 miles, asking price $52,800. I looked at the build sheet, checked the emissions hardware, and told him straight: "You are about to drop $52,000 on a truck that is going to need a def head, a turbo actuator, and probably an EGR cooler within the next 40,000 miles. That is $6,500 in repairs on a truck that still has a payment." He asked what I would buy instead. I pulled up Facebook Marketplace on my phone and showed him a 2006 Ram 2500 with the 5.9 Cummins, 142,000 miles, 6-speed manual, asking $17,400. He bought it 2 weeks later. That was 14 months ago. You know what he has spent on repairs since? $260. One fuel filter, one set of glow plugs, and a serpentine belt. Here is what nobody tells you about the 2003 to 2007 5.9 Cummins. This is the last Cummins that was built before the EPA lost its mind. No DEF system to fail, no DPF to clog, no regeneration cycles killing your fuel economy. The 48 Re automatic behind it is not the strongest transmission ever built, but it is simple. It is rebuildable for under $2,800, and every diesel shop in America has the parts on the shelf. The block is cast iron, the head is cast iron, the connecting rods are forged steel. The injection pump is a Bosch VP44 on the 03 to 04 models, and a Bosch CP3 on the 4.5 to 07 models. Both are mechanical workhorses with track records going back to commercial semi-truck applications. Let's talk price. A 2005 Ram 2500 Cummins with under 150,000 miles runs $15,000 to $19,000 right now. The same year, Ford F200 Cummins with under one also $15,000 to $19,000, but you are buying a truck with a known head gasket failure. A same year Chevy 2500 with the Denali Duramax, $22,000 to $26,000, and that engine has overheating issues under load. Turbo replacement on the 5.9 $1,400 parts, and labor at my shop. Turbo replacement on the 6.0 Power Stroke, $2,800 minimum, and that is if the oil cooler has not taken it out already. If you are shopping for one of these, 3 things. First, cold start the truck. A healthy 5.9 will idle clean within 30 seconds. If it smokes white for more than a minute, the injectors are tired. Budget $1,800. Second, crawl under and look at the frame where the rear cab mounts bolt on. Road salt states eat these frames. Any flaking or scaling, walk away. Third, check for an aftermarket tune. Deleted trucks cannot pass emissions in most states, and they void any remaining warranty coverage. If you think number 5 is a steal, wait until you see what Ford did in 1999 that everybody has forgotten about. Number 4, Chevy GMC 2500 HD Duramax LBZ, 2006 to 2007. Number 4 is a truck that cult diesel guys already know about, but the general used market is still sleeping on it because it looks almost identical to the problem child Duramax that came right after it. Every time one of these rolls into my shop, I almost get disappointed. There is nothing wrong with it. A customer brings it in for a noise, I put it on the lift, and I spend 40 minutes looking for something that is not there. Last fall, a guy came in with a 2007 LBZ Duramax, retired welder, bought the truck new, 218,000 miles on it. Wanted to know what major services were coming up so he could plan his budget. I pulled the transmission pan, pulled the valve covers, checked the injector balance rates, scoped the turbo. Everything was in spec. I told him to come back in 50,000 miles. He said, "That's what you told me 3 years ago?" He has put $1,140 into that truck in 10 years of ownership. Water pump, a set of glow plugs, and one fuel filter housing. GM did something brilliant with the LBZ generation. This was the last Duramax before the 2007.5 emissions rules brought in the DPF and everything that came with it. They had already fixed the head gasket problems from the Lely. They had already upgraded the injectors. They gave it a stronger Allison 1000 6-speed transmission. Then the EPA showed up, and GM had to put a particulate filter on it, and the magic was gone. Here is the nerdy detail that matters. The LBZ puts out 360 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque at 1,600 revolution per minute. That means peak torque happens at idle plus a whisper. The engine is barely working under load. That is why these trucks routinely go 400,000 miles on original injectors when they are maintained. Pricing right now, a 2007 Silverado 2500 HD LBZ crew cab with under 180,000 miles, $19,000 to $24,000. A 2008 same truck with the LMM Duramax and the DPF, $17,000 to $21,000. People pay less for the newer truck because the emissions hardware is failing. Let that sink in. The Allison 1000 transmission in these is the same gearbox GM put in their medium-duty commercial trucks. A full rebuild at a good shop runs $4,200. The same rebuild on a Ford 6R 140 or a modern Ram 68 RFE, $6,500 and up. Inspection checklist. First, plug a scanner in and pull injector balance rates. Anything beyond plus or minus 4 is a tired injector. Second, check the transmission fluid color on the dipstick. Red means cared for, brown means somebody skipped services. Third, look at the cooling system overflow tank for oil sheen on top of the coolant. Head gasket issues on the LBZ are rare, but they exist on deleted trucks that got tuned aggressively. Fourth, inspect the turbo downpipe and uppipe for exhaust leaks. Cracked up pipes are a $600 repair if you catch them early. Number 3 is where this list starts getting genuinely ridiculous. This is a truck that is mechanically identical to one selling for $12,000 more because of a badge and a leather seat package. Number 3, GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali Duramax 2011 to 2014 LML. Number 3 has the same engine, same transmission, and same frame as a truck that fleet buyers pay premium for. The only real difference is the grille and the interior trim. And the market punishes it for no good reason. A clean 2013 Sierra 2500 Duramax with under 150,000 miles is selling for $24,000 to $29,000 right now. A same-year Chevy 3500 fleet truck with the same drivetrain is selling for $32,000 and up because the work truck buyers know what is under the hood. Here is the customer that locked this pick in for me. Small business owner runs a landscaping crew, 6 guys and 3 trailers. His old truck finally gave up at 340,000 miles. He came in with a quote for a new 2024 Silverado 2500 Duramax. The dealer wanted $78,500 out the door after the trade. Monthly payment would have been $1,180 for 72 months. I told him to go home, log on to AutoTrader, and search for 2013 Sierra Duramax Crew Cab. I helped him find one that afternoon. 131,000 miles, one owner, every service receipt in a manila folder. $26,400 out the door. 18 months later, he is at 172,000 miles. He has replaced one battery, one set of front brake pads, and the serpentine belt. Total out of pocket, $620. His monthly truck payment is $0. He paid cash. The LML Duramax from 2011 to 2016 is the strongest version of the engine GM ever built before moving to the L5P in 2017. The block is beefier than the LBZ. The pistons are stronger. The turbo is a variable geometry unit that actually works correctly once you keep the EGR system clean. The Allison 1000 six-speed behind it is bulletproof. Now here's the part where I need to be honest with you. The LML has a DEF system and a DPF. Emissions-era diesels have a reputation for being expensive to maintain. That reputation is fair, but it has a huge asterisk on it. The hardware on the 2011 to 2014 trucks was the first clean sheet EPA design after GM learned from the LMMS mistakes. The failure rates on the DEF system, the EGR cooler, and the particulate filter on this generation are a fraction of what they were on the 2007.5 to 2010 trucks. Major repair probability on a well-maintained LML over 100,000 miles sits around 11%. On a 6.0 Power Stroke of similar age, that number is 38%. These are not my numbers, these are industry warranty claim figures that any independent diesel shop can confirm. Parts availability is a huge underrated factor. Every Napa, every O'Reilly, every Advance Auto in every small town in America stocks filters, belts, sensors, and brake parts for this truck. You can break down in a town with a population of 900 people and be back on the road by 4 p.m. Shopping checklist for the LML, 5 items. First, scan for active DTCs and stored codes. A truck with a clean code history has been maintained. A truck with 40 stored codes has been ignored. Second, ask to see the DEF fluid quality reading on the scanner. Bad DEF fluid is a sign the previous owner was trying to cheat the system. Third, inspect the EGR cooler for external coolant staining. Leaking coolers are an $800 repair. Fourth, check the turbo actuator operation at idle. It should cycle smoothly. Sticking actuators are $1,600 replaced. Fifth, look at the transmission cooler lines for weeping. Cheap fix if caught early, expensive if ignored. Number 2 is where I'm going to lose some of you, because the second this truck comes up, brand loyalists get defensive. But the numbers do not lie. Number 2, Ford F250F 356 7 liters Power Stroke, 2015 to 2019. I know what some of you are thinking. A modern emissions-era Power Stroke on a will last forever list? Hear me out, because this one is different from everything that came before it under a Ford hood. Quick pause. If this kind of straight talk is helping you, hit subscribe. I have more videos coming on the diesels dealerships push versus the ones that actually make sense long term, and a full teardown series on emission systems coming up. Back to the truck. The second generation 6.7 Power Stroke, which Ford internally calls the Scorpion, got a massive overhaul in 2015. The first Gen 6.7 from 2011 to 2014 had real problems. Radiator failures, turbo issues on the early ceramic bearing units, CP4 injection pump concerns. In 2015, Ford redesigned the cooling system, upgraded the turbo internals, revised the EGR cooler, and started using a better DEF dosing module. Then in 2017, they updated the cylinder heads and bumped the torque to 925 foot-pounds. By 2019, these trucks were making 935 foot-pounds and towing 35,000 pounds with a gooseneck. That is semi-truck territory. The 6R140 torque shift 6-speed transmission behind it is the same unit Ford uses in their F650 and F750 medium-duty trucks. Fleet operators routinely see 400,000 miles on these transmissions with nothing but fluid and filter changes. Customer story: over-the-road hotshot hauler runs a 40-foot gooseneck every week between Texas and Ohio. He bought a 2017 degrees Fahrenheit 350 dually with the 6.7 Power Stroke used in 2020 with 94,000 miles on it. Paid $48,000 for it. He is now at 341,000 miles. That is roughly 82,000 miles per year. He has replaced one set of glow plugs, one turbo actuator under warranty, one water pump, and one set of injectors at $310,000. Total out-of-pocket repair spending in 4 years, about $4,900. On a truck that earns him $180,000 a year in freight. This is the same engine that fleet operators are running in school bus and delivery applications to 500,000 miles. When a commercial buyer picks a diesel for a 10-year, 500,000-mile duty cycle, they are not guessing, they are using data. And the data on the 2015 plus 6.7% Power Stroke is outstanding. Pricing: a 2017 F250 Lariat with the 6.7 and under 140,000 miles is $34,000 to $42,000. A 2017 Ram 3500 Cummins with the ASIN transmission, $38,000 to $46,000. A same-year GMC 2500 Denali Duramax, $38,000 to $46,000. The Ford is the cheapest of the three and the most capable on paper. Repair costs at my shop: turbo actuator, $1,400, glow plug replacement full set, $620, EGR cooler, $1,100, water pump, $780, full transmission service including pan drop and filter, $340, CP4 injection pump replacement, which is rare but possible, $3,800. Compare that last number to what a new Ram HD with a Cummins cost to rebuild top end. You are looking at $8,000 plus. Pro tip on shopping: look for former fleet trucks with documented service histories. Fleet maintained diesels are the best used diesels on the market because somebody was paid to change the oil on a schedule. Independent trucking companies, utility companies, and government auctions are gold mines. 6-item inspection checklist. First, pull the intake elbow and inspect for excessive soot buildup. Some is normal. A caked solid intake means the EGR has been working overtime. Second, check the CP4 injection pump for any metal debris in the fuel filter. If there is glitter in the filter, the pump is eating itself and the whole fuel system needs replacement. That is an $8,000 job, so walk away. Third, scan and verify DEF system health. Fourth, check the turbo for shaft play. Fifth, crawl under and look at the front radiator support for collision repair that might have compromised the intercooler. Sixth, look at the transmission pan for weeping and the output shaft seal for leaks. Who should buy this truck if you tow heavy, if you drive long distances, if you need a modern truck that can still run 400,000 miles? This is your answer. Who should skip it? If you only use the truck for short trips around town, the DPF will never get hot enough to regenerate properly and you will have problems. Diesels want to work. If you do not work them, buy a gas truck. But if you think number 2 is a steal, number 1 is the truck I recommend more than any other diesel to customers who ask what they should actually buy. And almost every single one argues with me at first, until they drive one. Number 1, Ford F250F 357 3 liters Power Stroke, 1999 to 2003. Number 1 is not just a good diesel. It is the diesel every other diesel gets compared to. This is the truck that built the phrase million-mile motor. This is the engine that diesel guys pay $25,000 to swap into other trucks. And clean bone stock examples are still sitting on lots and in driveways selling for $14,000 to $22,000 right now. Let me tell you about the customer who almost argued me out of the shop. 3 years ago, a guy came in, mid-50s, just retired from the oil field, wanted to buy a diesel truck to pull a fifth-wheel camper around the country with his wife. He had his heart set on a 2019 Ram 2500 Laramie with the 6.7 Cummins. The dealer had one on the lot with 41,000 miles at $58,500. I asked him if he had considered an older 7.3 Power Stroke. He laughed at me, said, "I am not buying a 20-year-old truck to pull my wife around the country. I want something reliable." I walked him out to my shop parking lot and pointed at my personal truck. A 2001 F350 Crew Cab 7.3 Power Stroke. I bought it in 2014 with 148,000 miles for $13,800. At that point, I had put about $4,200 into it in 9 years. That included a full brake job on all 4 corners, a set of glow plugs, a water pump, a set of hubs, and 1 fuel filter housing. The truck had 276,000 miles on it that afternoon. Original turbo, original injection pump, original injectors, original transmission. He bought a 2002 F357.3 the following weekend, 129,000 miles. Paid $16,200 for it, called me last month. He is at 198,000 miles now. They have been to 34 states in it. His exact words: "Why did nobody tell me about this truck 20 years ago?" Here is why I am obsessed with the 7.3 Power Stroke. This engine is mechanical injection. The fuel system does not rely on a computer to tell it how much fuel to deliver. It uses a hydraulic electronic unit injection system, which Ford and International co-developed, and which lived in medium-duty commercial applications before it ever saw a pickup truck. The block is cast iron, the heads are cast iron, the internals are forged, the crankshaft is forged steel, the connecting rods are forged steel. The camshaft drives off gears, not a timing belt, not a chain. Gears last forever. The same 7.3 Power Stroke block was used by International in their medium-duty box trucks and school buses, where they routinely saw 600,000 miles before an overhaul. When you buy a 1999 to 2003 degrees Fahrenheit 250 with a 7.3, you are buying a semi-truck engine in a pickup body. I have personally worked on 4 of these past 400,000 miles with original injection pumps. One of them, a 2000 F250 owned by a hay farmer in Oklahoma, was at 511,000 miles when I last saw it. He had replaced the alternator twice and the water pump once. Let's talk numbers and let this actually sink in. Our pick, a 2001 F257.3 crew cab, $16,000 to $22,000. Same year Ram 2500 with a 24-valve 5.9 Cummins, $18,000 to $24,000. Solid choice, but not quite the same longevity. Same year Chevy 2500 with the 6.6 LB7 Duramax, $15,000 to $20,000. Good truck, but has injector issues. A brand new 2026 F250 Lariat with the 6.7 Power Stroke, $78,000 to $92,000 out the door. Same capability, same towing, same payload. The new truck just has air-conditioned seats and a bigger screen. Repair economics on the 7.3 glow plug relay, $90 and 20 minutes of labor. Full set of glow plugs, $340. Water pump, $480. Alternator, $320. Injection control pressure sensor, $180. I can do most repairs on this truck with a wrench set that fits in a shoebox. There is no proprietary scan tool required. There is no dealer-only programming. There is no CP4 pump to grenade and send metal through the entire fuel system. 7-item inspection checklist, because this is the one I want you to get right. First, cold start the truck when the engine is completely cold. A healthy 7.3 will start within 3 seconds of cranking, even at 20 degrees, if the glow plug system is working. Extended cranking means glow plug or relay issues. Cheap fix second, watch for white smoke at startup. A clean 7.3 will puff for maybe 10 seconds on a cold morning and clear up. Continuous white smoke after the engine warms is a cracked head or injector cup issue. Walk away third, pull the oil cap with the engine running. Some crankcase pressure is normal. Excessive blow-by that pushes oil out the filler neck is a sign of tired rings. Walk away fourth. Inspect the frame behind the cab mount and in front of the rear axle. Road salt states eat 7.3 frames. If you can stick a screwdriver through the frame, it is scrap metal. Fifth, check the transmission. The 4R100 automatic behind most 7.3 seconds is okay, but not legendary. A built 4R100 with upgraded torque converter is a $3,800 rebuild. If the truck has a manual transmission, the ZF6 6-speed, buy it immediately. That gearbox is indestructible. Sixth, look at the cab corners and rocker panels for rust. Cosmetic, but expensive to fix right. Budget accordingly. Seventh, and this is the pro tip, find one owned by a farmer or a retired long-haul trucker. Garage kept, religious oil changes, driven like a tool, not a toy. A farmer's 7.3 with 180,000 miles is almost always in better mechanical shape than a weekend warrior's 7.3 with 80,000 miles. Who should buy it if you want a truck that will outlive you and probably your kids? If you do not care about a leather interior or a touchscreen. If you tow, haul, or work the truck. If you live somewhere that does not require emissions testing on a 20-year-old diesel, buy this truck. Who should skip it? If you need modern safety features like automatic emergency braking or blind spot monitoring, this is not that. If you need a quiet, refined highway cruiser for long road trips, the 7.3 is loud and the ride is firm. If you live in California or certain parts of Washington and Oregon with strict diesel emissions enforcement, check your local laws first. Here is my final take on the 7.3 Power Stroke. This is the best diesel truck you can buy for under $25,000, full stop. It is the best diesel truck you can buy for under $40,000 if we are being honest. If I had to buy one diesel right now to drive for the next 15 years with the absolute lowest total cost of ownership, I would buy another 7.3% Power Stroke and not think twice. So there it is. 5 diesel pickups the market forgot, but diesel guys never did. The Ram 2505, 9 Cummins, the last pre-emissions Cummins, and the simplest heavy diesel you can still buy, the LBZ Duramax, the last Duramax before the DPF ruined everything. The LML Duramax in a Sierra Denali badge, the same drivetrain as a fleet truck at a used car price. The 2015 +6 7 Power Stroke, the modern diesel that Ford finally got right. And the 7.3 Power Stroke, the million-mile motor that is still the benchmark every other diesel gets judged against. You now know 5 diesel trucks you can buy for under $45,000 that will outlast anything rolling off a new car lot today. Next time a salesman tries to push you toward an $85,000 diesel with a 60,000-mile powertrain warranty and a 72-month payment, you will know better. If you want to know which diesels I tell people to run screaming from, the ones that sit in my shop more than they sit in driveways, I did a whole video on that. It is right here, real numbers, real failure rates, real repair bills. That is 25 years of diesel work in 22 minutes. Like if it helped, subscribe for the truth dealerships will not tell you. Drive safe, take care of your truck, and it will take care of you. Take it or leave it. I will see you in the next one.